Alright guys, so today is Wednesday, October the 20th, and two crazy things just happened with Bitcoin. The first one is Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high of about $67,000. And if you look here, oh wait. Nice. Okay, but all jokes aside, to be exact, it hit $66,999. And as you can see, if I zoom out to the 1 year or the all-time chart, it has hit a new all-time high from its previous spike back in mid-April of this year. Hey everyone, my name is Caleb and welcome back to my channel. Now, about the second thing I was going to talk about, the reason why Bitcoin just hit this new all-time high is because the new Bitcoin futures ETF just dropped on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, if you want to check this new thing out, it is right here on Robinhood. It's only been on here for about 2 days, and its full name is ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF. It opened at about $41 yesterday, and it's chilling at about the $43 range right now, and the ticker symbol is BITO. So this brand new Bitcoin ETF is basically what I wanted to talk about today in this video, but in order to dig a little further, we need to know exactly what a futures ETF even is. Unlike stocks or typical ETFs, futures are a type of derivative investment where you're basically buying a contract that says you'll either buy or sell a certain asset at a predetermined future price and date. Now, these futures contracts have an expiration date, and basically the buyer or seller must execute the trade laid out on the contract by the expiration date regardless of the price on that particular day. The math behind these contracts can get a little bit complicated, but essentially what futures do is let investors bet on the future price of a particular asset. Two common uses of trading futures is one, to speculate against future price movement of an asset, and the second would be to hedge against future losses and to protect against unfavorable price movement. Now, to keep things very simple here, basically this ETF isn't actually buying any Bitcoin. Now, typically with an ETF like the S&P 500, what's happening is you're pooling a bunch of money together with other investors, and then that fund goes and takes that money and buys some of those 500 different stocks that are in the index. But with the Bitcoin futures ETF, this isn't exactly the case. And this is honestly probably part of the reason why the SEC even gave this the green light in the first place, because it's been denying ETFs like this for the last 7 years when it comes to crypto. But now you may be asking, what is my money actually buying then? Well, to be honest, it's not really buying anything special. So I'll just pull up my iPad real quick and show you. So this is on proshares.com. This is the company that the fund is at. And if you look down here, about 70% of the money is in just cash and other assets, and the other 30% is in treasury bills, which is basically the least risky asset there is because it's completely backed by the government. The price of the Bitcoin futures ETF is essentially just the perceived value of the contracts themselves. Well, now you're probably asking, why don't I just buy Bitcoin itself if I want exposure to the market? Well, that's a great question. So here's some of the pros and cons of the Bitcoin futures ETF. So if you want to have Bitcoin exposure in your traditional brokerage account or retirement funds, this is the first thing. So this is nice because if you have like a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA or like any other type of just normal non-retirement brokerage account where you can choose your individual stocks and what your portfolio is made out of, you can now add this to it. The second pro to this is maybe you're just feeling a little bit safer with this investment, knowing that the SEC has given it the green light on brokerages and exchanges that you're used to using and that are secure and work for you. Number three is maybe you just find crypto in general pretty complicated and you don't feel like figuring out what wallets are or what keys are, and maybe the word encryption just makes your brain fall straight out of your head. And the fourth thing here is maybe you just don't want to wait until another ETF comes out. Maybe you don't care if you don't hold Bitcoin itself and you just want to dive in head first. So those are all the pros. Now let's talk about some of the reasons that you would want to steer clear of this futures ETF. The first thing here is that the management fees are a little bit higher than average, with the expense ratio sitting at about 0.95%. Now this amounts to about $95 for every $10,000 that you invest, and the average expense ratio for a typical ETF is much closer to about 0.7%. And I personally try to shoot for less than 0.5% if I can. The second reason to steer clear of this is maybe you're just new to investing and new to crypto and Bitcoin in general, and it's much easier and simpler for you to just buy the actual coin than it is to deal with the complicated concepts involved with futures contracts and using leverage to hedge your investments. And third, maybe you just want to wait until there's there's more ETFs out there available to you, because the SEC is actually already taking a look at a handful of other things, and we'll probably see more ETFs for crypto come out very soon. And the final reason to steer clear is maybe it's all just too new for you. So just like IPOs, we really have no idea what the hype around this new stock or crypto or ETF could do to the price of the actual asset, and it'll really have to simmer for a while before we can get a better idea of how the price is going to move around. So what does this all mean for Bitcoin and the crypto markets? Well, long term, I think overall this is a very good thing for crypto, and shows even more how institutions and our own government even is taking crypto a lot more seriously. Honestly, a lot has been happening recently to support Bitcoin, like El Salvador adopting Bitcoin as one of the currencies in its country, for example, or crypto being added to apps like PayPal and Venmo and Cash App, and it's even slowly making its way into the typical retirement fund and becoming a regular part of someone's portfolio. As far as the short term goes, we're really going to have to see with this one, because all the hype around this futures ETF has already caused Bitcoin to rise to its highest price since mid-April of earlier this year, which was about $64,000. So I think that we could continue to see it go up in value if we can seem to find a support level around that price range. Or on the other hand, we could see this hype die off by the end of next week, and we could see the price of Bitcoin go back down to what it was at the beginning of this month, which was closer to about $40,000. Now, as you can see here, the news around this new ETF has already caused a lot of other cryptos to go up in price. So as you can see here with all these little graph symbols in the center, you can see they all have that same kind of similar spike to the far right side, and this goes pretty far down the list, honestly. And I think this is happening because of the momentum that it's generating around crypto as a whole and what it means for the future. Now, I really have no idea what's going to happen with this futures ETF and with crypto as a whole, but it's really exciting to me to see the crypto space become more of a normalized thing and see it implemented in so many different ways. One thing I would really like to see in the future is an ETF that functions as basically an S&P 500 but for crypto, where it just holds a bundle of a bunch of them all in one thing. And I'd love to be able to buy just like one share of something, have it be called like Growth Crypto Market Fund ETF or something like that, and have like 80% of that go into Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano, and have the remaining 20% divided amongst another 10 to 20 different cryptos like Polkadot or Chainlink or Litecoin. I think that would be really cool, but so far the SEC currently hasn't approved anything like this, and it claims that it'll take another look at this when cryptocurrency has demonstrated more security and more stability in its price movement, and they want to see more transparency from the crypto exchanges themselves. All I can really say for certain is that crypto definitely isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and the Bitcoin futures ETF just further solidifies this. Now, since you stuck around all the way up until this point in the video, I'm gonna have some fun with you guys. So I'm gonna pull up the BITO right now, and I'm gonna buy one share of it just for fun. Now, I don't recommend any of you guys do this. I don't mind if I lose every dollar of this investment, but I'm gonna buy one share of this and just kind of see what it does for the next month, and maybe I'll get rid of it in a few weeks. Who knows? This is just play money, and please do not buy this just because I am. And of course, this trade is going to execute in the morning. Now, if you want to invest in Bitcoin itself, my favorite platform right now is Coinbase, and I'll leave a referral link to that in the description below if you're interested in checking out that platform. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Please leave a like down below if you enjoyed my content today. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you're as excited as I am about the crypto space and this new futures ETF. And also, don't forget to hit that big fat red subscribe button down in the description below if you want to see more weekly content just like this. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching once again, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.